All right.
Oh yeah.
Well, in case if everybody is wondering, in case if we do decide to use this in a show, we are introducing Steve. He is a friend of mine from forever ago.
No, just Steve-O.
Yeah, it's just Steve-O. And when I met my wife back in 95, shortly thereafter, I took a job working at Numa Tool where I met one of his brothers. And then, lo and behold, we got to hang out. And next thing you know, we've been friends ever since. His family used to own a big farm in town, and they used to have a vegetable stand where you could go and get fresh vegetables. It was it's a missed item in town, that's for sure. But anyway, Steve-O, welcome.
It sure is. Yeah,
sure is.
Glad to be here, guys.
And,
what was the name of the farm stand?
It was the White Plains Farm. So, but there was no.
Is that what it was called?
No name of this. White Plains. Yeah.
Oh, I never knew that.
But there was no name. There was no name for the stand. It was just a stand, and everyone knew the family, the farm forever.
Oh,
and everyone just stopped.
I was trying to think if I'd been there, or
if you were to go past the Speedway sign, the Thompson Speedway sign, heading towards Webster, and you go a ways. Ivanhoe Tool is out past that way, and you're gonna go a ways, and then there's a left. What is that? Wilsonville? Is that what was across the street from
Road? Yeah, it was.
Wilsonville Road.
Yeah,
Wilson.
It was a way. If you were to come at the end of Wilsonville Road and you kind of went diagonally to the right through the stop sign, you would have went right into his driveway. It was like a horseshoe-shaped driveway.
Right.
There was a long house trailer on the property, and then there was a big white farmhouse with a garage in between the two. And you would have seen his old man out there on his tractor with some homemade invention that he made on the side of the tractor to plant seeds or something, because he did all that all the time. I remember when we went there and he had that tractor with the spike and the little nails that would go down, and it would spin the dirt and it would plant the seed. And I'm like, holy crap. And he goes, I made that myself. I'm not buying it. I can make it. And I'm like, that's so cool.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. If you came past the sign for the Speedway and you saw Sweet Sue's Sugar Shack on the left, right past that. I don't know if you.
I did.
If you ever Sweet Sue's.
I did see
You're
Sugar Shack.
No, not me. But I'm not a local.
I was a local.
I mean, I am.
Langer.
I'm not.
Sue Langer.
They used to tap. Sue Langer. They used to tap their own maple trees and then burn the syrup in the shack on the side of the road. And there's a sign, Sweet Sue's Sugar Shack. And when they were burning off the maple, people thought the place was on fire, and they'd be calling the fire department. Fire department showing up. Oh, no, what was burning? The sugar. They were burning off the sap, burning off the sugar sap, the maple sap.
I know nothing about that.
No kidding. It takes something like 40 gallons of sap to make 1 gallon of maple syrup. By the time you boil off all the water, a lot. You're condensing it is what you're doing. Yeah. The sugar is in the tree. It's in the sap, and it's very bland. And as you boil the water out of it, it takes on that amber color. And the more water you boil out, the thicker it gets. And that's why they have like different grades of maple syrup. You can get the light syrup or the extra dark. The extra dark is usually more expensive because it takes more sap to make that gallon, because you have to boil more of the water out of it to get it down to that reduction. And it's my dad. My dad had tapped all the maple trees in my yard one year, and we got like 50 gallons. I remember seeing milk jugs everywhere, and I had sap in it. And he was in the yard, and he had a Coleman stove, and somebody told him that he could just keep adding to the pot, and you just keep adding the syrup, and you just keep reducing and reducing and reducing, and he burnt it. He was so pissed. And when my old man, when he gets mad, he's like me. You see red, everything in front of you is breakable. You're the breaking process, and you're just gonna go and destroy it. And then afterwards, you calm down, and you realize what you broke, and you're like, son of a bitch, I needed that. Then remorse comes.
I think a lot of us are like that. That's exactly how I used. Not anymore, but I used to be bad
No,
with things, not people. Like I wouldn't hurt my kids or my wife.
Oh
but
no,
I would
I
break
take it out on inanimate objects.
doors.
Yeah,
Love taking down doors.
Every now and then I meet a real hardwood door, but those fake cardboard ones, your hand goes.
No,
right
the solid pine doors are fun.
But yeah, those suck. He's got the water boiling.
Yeah,
what was it?
Humidity in the air.
Is that what you're doing?
Dry in here.
Yeah, with the winter does it.
Yeah, fair enough.
So we were talking about. We went on this camping trip on the Wacko Sacco. There's a bunch of guys. We all got together, and we had a blast. We went down we did the 19-mile loop. It was the bigger of the two loops.
Is that the one where you camp along the way? Yeah. It's awesome. They have this.
Yeah, 2 nights.
The river winds, and every time it makes like an inside corner, there's a sandy beach, and it's beautiful. And you can just park there, camp there. You could dig a latrine out in the woods behind you, and you just camp for as long as you want, and it's free. Right. And some of the boats are cool because these people will just make these elaborate things because they'll bring dogs that can walk around on the deck on a canoe that they made. And there was one big fat kid that had remember the one with the lawn chair, and he had it like right in the middle of the canoe, and he was all by himself, and he loaded him up with all the coolers and everything. Yeah. And he's sitting there and he's rolling down the river, and he went sideways because he's sitting in the canoe all wrong. And I think they ended up tipping over. They lost all their coolers, and everybody's all pissed off.
Oh man!
Yeah, that was funny.
Is it rough?
But, no, it's like a long lake that slowly moves south. And every now and then you see the game wardens come by, and they get these really cool boats.
Yeah. We've gone on the Farmington River tubing 3 years in a row.
Tubing.
And this past year, I think, was my last year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because me and CJ, we flipped over in a rough patch and got slammed underwater, got slammed into rocks, and both of us saw our life flash before our eyes, and we were like, and that was within the first 20 minutes of a 3-hour ride.
Yeah, for a 3-hour tour. You know how that always starts off. Those 3-hour rides are dangerous.
Yeah.
If you haven't learned that by now.
And it's funny because the 2 years that I went before that rough patch, it's always rough. It's got about a 3-foot drop, and it's white rapids, but you're in a tube, but it's still not that bad. But that one time that we went over, when you go over in that kind of element, it scares the shit out of you.
Yeah. And
I got slammed face first, knees right into the rocks, and I couldn't get my head up, man. I was like, I thought I was going to drown. And a 15-year-old kid saved me.
Wow. I got for a 15-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Wow.
He threw a freaking rope thing and then pulled me up to shore.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was one of the
lifeguards. A life preserver and everything thrown?
Well, they were lifeguards.
Oh. Like
so they have them at all the anywhere that there's like rough water, they have a couple of lifeguards set up.
That's cool. Well, they probably have to because it's like
they do. Yeah. But it made me not want to do that shit. So if Saco is nothing like that, then I would like to do that.
No, it's a lot of fun. It was funny. We went down, and I think it was because I went down a couple times. We went down that time with you guys. Then there was a time we went down with Ernie and all them from Numa, and we went by these guys, and they had a sheet up in their campsite, and it said the lynch mob, and they were all wearing these funny hats, and we're kind of going down the river, and there was a guy Benny that was with us. And he had a board on his knees, and he was trying to twist a joint. And we're in canoes, and we're rowing, and we passed these guys, and they're all like, "Hey," we're like, "Hey, how's it going?" And you see one guy in the background. It's like 9:30 in the morning, and there's a dude with like a Joker hat on, and he's got a bottle of Jack Daniels, and it's topped up, and he's just like, and I'm like, it's 9:30 in the morning. This guy is like getting hammered, right? So they're all waving hi, and we're like, "Oh, hey," just kind of rowing. And then we kind of get around a corner. So the river goes like this, and it goes around a corner. And these guys were over here. And as we got around that corner, now we're on the other side of the wood line as the crow flies. So all of a sudden, Benny's sitting there and he's trying to twist a joint up, and all of a sudden, splash right on the side of him, and freaking water goes all over the place. It lands in his bag. The joint's wet. He's like, "What the fuck?" Then splash, another one hits. He's like, "Oh my god!" We look up. That lynch mob had this big long slingshot that they had, and there was 2 guys would hold it, and the third guy would pull it in the middle and pull it way back, and they had water balloons. And they were shooting them over the woods, and they were landing in the river on the other. They didn't even know if we were there. They were just guessing, you know. And they got Benny, and he was so mad, man. He was like, "What was that?" And we're looking up, and we can see these incoming, and these water balloons are just coming over the trees. It looks like, oh my god, it was so hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. What are you gonna do? Row up river and yell at a bunch of guys that are drinking Jack Daniels at 9:30 in the morning?
No.
Do that.
Just gonna keep on going. And why would you be mad at a water balloon hitting you when you're in a river?
Because when you have a board and your whole ounce of pot goes into the river because the water balloon just nailed you.
Yeah, that's a little
beginning of the trip.
Disheartening, yeah.
Oh god, that was hilarious. That was one of those.
Yeah. So I've never been up. I've never done it.
Oh really? Yeah.
Remember? Actually, I know you remember Stacia. She used to go there all the time.
Yeah.
She always used to talk about it.
The Pirates of the Quinabian, her brother.
The Quinabian.
Yeah, they used to They used to do the rafting from the waterfalls up the Quinnebog there in Fabian or Fairlawn or whatever it is, and then ride the river down into the Thompson Dam. And they call themselves the Pirates of the Quinabian.
Who was that?
Joel, her
okay.
Brother. Yeah.
Pirates of the Quinabian.
Yeah, Pirates of the Quinabian.
Is it the Quinnebog River?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did that run many times.
Oh yeah.
That was a good run.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I realized? I've been recording with.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Now you pointed it out, and everybody's watching the show is now going.
I'm in my kitchen.
You know, you guys are both in your kitchen. My kitchen's right there.
My kitchen's right there.
So smart. Steve, don't feel bad.
I'm pretty sturdy good food.
Pretty sturdy pork, pretty teeny. You need a pork.
Yep.
And up there's up there's my water filter.
Doesn't that mess you up?
Yeah, you never know where to point.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Picture right there. That was pretty good. That picture right there. There's a bunch of guys. There's a bunch of guys standing in it, and that guy right there, the second one over from the right, is the person that used to live in this house.
Yeah.
His name was Harold Johnson. Harold.
Harry.
Like Harry?
Harry. Henry? What is it?
Harry. Harold.
Harold. And then all of a sudden, nothing.
Yeah.
I don't want. No, I'm not going to say. Wow.
You know what I hate?
Say his name a bunch of times and he hits something upstairs.
I hate when the cat or the dog does that shit.
Oh, I hate it when it does it, and then you.
No, like when the cat or the dog just all of a sudden.
So freaky.
You're like, what are you looking at?
I know, it's like I want to know what made that noise upstairs after I got done calling that guy's name a couple times.
Yeah, that guy made that noise.
I'm guessing.
You know what it was.
Just remember, if you guys see something move in the background, let me know.
Yeah.
You know, like you see the fan stop moving or something, I'm out.
You know what? That would be cool if we did one of these, and then afterwards, like when I'm editing, I notice something like that.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be. Like maybe
I want to go, Eric.
Hey, dude,
remember Amityville? Get out.
Oh, that's what that thing is in the basement with the water in it. I thought it was a well.
Do you remember Eddie Murphy talking about that, about Amityville Horror?
No.
He was saying how white people are stupid because they stay when the ghosts come, and like they have no like they just keep trying to stay in the house. Like, no, we're gonna. He's like, black people don't do that. He says we were in there looking at the house. We're like, oh, this is beautiful. Look at that chandelier hanging there. Kids outside playing in the yard. Baby, this is great. Can't. Too bad we can't stay.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That's funny.
Get out.
So
He's like,
true.
too bad we can't stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm in here going, get out. This is mine. No, I'm like, don't
Get out.
do
This
it.
is
Don't
mine.
do it.
I don't like that. It's gonna be something on the outside of the house or something.
Did you hear it again tonight?
Like 3 times just now.
Oh, is that why you're all like? I thought you
why-
were just reenacting.
Nope. Reenacting my ass. I just hope he goes to bed when I go to bed.
You know, it's
I
different.
don't like
too,
it when
'cause
they're up all night. It keeps me
you're
up.
all by yourself.
Thanks.
Well, technically, you're not all by yourself.
Nope, definitely not. I'm proving that point right about 30 seconds ago.
Yeah.
I would say it was the stove, but that's downstairs.
So, every time you look away, are you hearing it?
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right.
I don't like that.
I'm not saying anything.
I want to make sure my curtains open.
What are you guys worried about? It's the noises over here, not over
It doesn't matter.
Oh.
Gives you the creeps.
I'm getting
No,
goosebumps.
what gives me the
dude.
creeps is when I sometimes go to bed and I wake up and the closet door's open and I don't remember if it was open or closed when I went to bed or not. And usually
Oh,
it's never
yeah.
open because I never go in it, you know.
So if it's open, you're like all
Freaked
fucked
out.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be.
It's not supposed to be like this.
No. And I don't have the water heat on. I just have the regular stove, so it's not the baseboards creaking. So I'm trying to rule out what it isn't, and I know there's a lot of things that it isn't, and nothing.
I know you're trying to save money, but almost kind of want to have the water baseboard on so that you can. It's just that.
Yeah,
You know. No.
no, because then the Stein in me takes over and goes, I'd rather hear a ghost than have to pay the oil.
Yeah.
And then I learned something today. They don't
Oh.
tax pellets.
Huh.
You don't pay sales tax. on
Really?
it, 'cause
I
it's a
didn't know.
heating fuel. I didn't know that either.
Oh,
'Cause I went to the lady
Yeah.
today and I'm like, it's funny how in New Hampshire that it's $6.79 for a bag of pellets. In Connecticut, it's $5.69. So it's $1.10 cheaper in Connecticut. No, it's 90 cents. That's right. It's 90 cents cheaper in Connecticut than it is in New Hampshire. So I told the lady, I said, yeah, it sucks. I said, even with the sales tax, it's still cheaper. And she goes, no, they don't tax that because it's a heating fuel. I'm like, oh, good to know.
No, so you don't have to pay
So
for that.
not that it
tax.
matters because I'm still going to buy them. No,
What?
I said it doesn't really matter that there is or there isn't because I'm still going to buy them. I have to.
Yeah,
don't
of
have-
course.
But
Right.
at least now that I know if I'm going to come up here for the week, I'm going to buy my 10 bags in Connecticut. I saved $9. $9.
9.
9.
Ich 9.
Number 9.
Number
Number
9.
9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Hey, Johnny. You know, Paul, let's get rid of Johnny. Oh, let's get rid of Clarence and steal all his good ideas. You ever see Clarence, the Fifth Beatle?
No.
Really? Eddie Murphy on Saturday
No.
Night Live.
Oh,
They had a
God. I bet
skit.
it's
He was
good.
the Fifth Beatle named Clarence. He was the trumpet player. And he says,
Oh
yeah,
my
man,
God.
they stole all my good ideas. And he goes, well, can you prove it? He goes, yeah, man. He goes, listen to this song. But you can play it backwards and you can hear it. It's like, hey, Paul. Yeah, John. Let's get rid of Clarence and steal all his good ideas. Like, well, yeah, it's Clarence, the Fifth Beatle. And like,
Play it
they have like
backwards.
Sgt. Pepper's album. And they have a picture of Eddie Murphy and he's holding a trumpet. and he's like this, and they have like it cut out, and it's just like taped onto the album. And every time they have another album, and they show the four Beatles, and then there's like the fifth one, and it's the same picture with the trumpet.
Yeah.
And they go, boy, it sure looks like the same picture. And he goes, no, it ain't, man. It's just the poor editing from the editor. He didn't like black people, man. It's like really funny.
He didn't like black people.
He says, listen to this song backwards, man. It says, hey, Paul. Yeah, John. Let's get rid of Clarence and steal all his good ideas. It's just like, it's so funny. And he goes,
remember when that was a big
thing?
thing?
It used to be a She Loves You. And he goes, yeah, well, I wrote that. And he goes, you did? He goes, yeah, well, She Loves You, man. His original cut in here. She loves you, man. Like you could hear like it was just dubbed in like that. She loves you, man. And he goes, oh, okay. It's not very convincing. Do you have any other evidence? And that's when he played the song. And the guy goes, well, there you have it. The fifth Beatle, ladies and gentlemen. Clarence.
She loves you, man.
Yeah, instead of yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. The shit that they used to do on cocaine back then was funny. That whole show was pretty much that. The two wild and famous guys.
Two wild and crazy guys.
Yeah, two wild and crazy guys. Yeah.
Oh,
They don't have good shows like that anymore.
no.
Even like Saturday Night Live, they have like a good one every now and then. But before it used to be, you turned on Saturday Night Live because it was funny as hell. And now it's like,
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Watch something.
I miss In Living Color too.
That was pretty funny.
That was good.
With Fire Marshal Bill.
And Living
Yeah.
Color. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Fire
when it was
Marshal Bill.
Mad. It was
Yeah.
Mad Magazine.
Mad TV.
Yeah, Mad TV. With E. Newman.
What the hell was the? Oh, Vera DeMilo. That's a,
Yeah, Vera DeMille.
yeah. The yeah steroid.
Yeah, steroids.
And then that This Old Box.
I don't remember that one.
That was Damon Wayans did that one. It was This Old Box, and he was like a homeless guy with a cardboard boxes.
He
was
got
like
his own
doing
toilet, and it was like a big pickle jar.
yeah, it's like home renovations, but in the homeless box
The homeless renovation.
district. Yeah, This Old Box. Yeah,
That's hilarious. They also, then he was a handyman too, right?
yes, he was.
He's the,
Dude, you
the
can't get away.
handicapped superhero.
You can't do shit like that nowadays.
Oh God, no! Wait, you can't hurt him, and he shoot him, and he's just like,
Hell no.
Yeah.
Hey, look at handyman takes one to the head. You can't hurt me.
Yeah, there was a show on TV with a dude making fun of retarded people, like,
Intellectually disabled.
and everybody. Yeah, but that ain't that nowadays. Yeah,
Like, look at Archie Bunker.
I know,
I know.
dude. We need an Archie Bunker again.
God, we do. They should have a whole TV show just like
Yes,
that.
we do.
We do. We totally need that.
Some of the shit that comes out of that guy's mouth is freaking priceless too.
Mint.
Even when he uses the words wrong,
Yeah,
but it still makes sense.
yeah. Mint.
Yeah.
I loved that show. I didn't.
You know
I
why they
didn't
all
like.
get along? Why is that? Because they all stay in their own neighborhoods. That's why they all get along. The Jews stay with the Jews.
Yeah. It was so great. And I'm not saying it was great because it
wasn't really racist. It wasn't racist.
No.
It was the times.
He was just
and-
straightforward and flat
If
out.
anything,
Like
he
just,
was the heel of a lot of the racist jokes because, like,
Yeah.
what's his face? The Jefferson's son would always come over, Lionel,
yeah. Why not? Yeah.
and he would always have the upper hand
Lionel,
on Archie in
yeah.
almost every conversation.
Because he
Make
was
Archie
smart.
look like a comedian. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So funny shit.
Right.
And then the Jeffersons was a spoof off of that, right? Because she was.
They were their neighbors originally, I think. Oh,
They were. Yeah.
Steve, look at him.
Oh no.
It sounded like somebody knocked at the door.
Oh my god.
So, do you want to go check it?
Really? No. Could be the floorboard creaking. That might be a floorboard.
Yep.
It's the baseboard heat.
Eric. Eric. I'm gonna come up and visit.
You guys want to come over and hang out?
I'm gonna bring my tent.
Sleep outside.
Sleep outside.
Bring my tent.
Oh, I really don't want to go upstairs.
Sleep outside.
Sleep on the couch.
I'm probably gonna.
I would.
Probably where it's gonna end up being tonight.
Yeah.
Seems actually, like it's relaxing tonight up there.
I'll be in the recliner tonight, so I mean,
I won't be because there's no wall behind me at the recliner. I'm gonna need something with a wall behind me.
You know, those
things. When something comes up to you.
Walls don't mean anything to Harry.
Well, it's cold out. They're not gonna want to be outside. That's an outside wall.
Oh, all right. Maybe you're right.
I can't believe I'm debating why I'm not sleeping upstairs.
Well, if you do go upstairs, you'll just hear, people washing dishes in the kitchen.
Yeah.
If you sleep upstairs, you'll hear it.
Yeah. Well, at least now I have a kitchen sink.
I just saw a car go by in your street.
You're watching the background now. I see what you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
I am. Yeah,
paying attention.
Eyes up here, guys. Eyes up here. Oh, you guys are all like.
So you get nervous when me and Steve just stop talking and don't say nothing, and we're just staring at the screen.
I will shoot you, but I will literally drive 3 hours tonight. I will shoot his ass, and then I'll drive another hour to shoot your ass. If you do that, this show is over.
No, man. Can you imagine if you were talking? All of a sudden,
and the curtain moves in the back or something?
No, I'm just saying. Me and him are just like done.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? What do you guys? What do you guys see?
Look now. Remember how you said that you're lonely? You don't have to be no more.
You're not alone. You're not alone, man.
Sure you're not by yourself.
Don't worry.
That's crazy shit.
Yeah. That's funny.
It's got to be the floorboards creaking or something. Maybe it's windy out, and I don't know it.
It's something.
It's the cold.
It's like a. I can't explain the sound. Almost like as if something's like. Chris was here one night when it happened. Like a cord hits the floor. Oh my god! Like a extension cord would fall. You know what I mean? Like a cord or something. Like
yeah.
That's exactly what it sounded like 4 or 5 times tonight.
Yeah.
No, I know. I get the sound in my head.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's that. Hold on. It's that guy right there. The second one in from the right. That's Harold Johnson.
Oh my god.
Actually, I could take you guys on a
Harold.
tour. I just wouldn't be able to use the microphone. So you just see me get scared to shit but not hear me.
You didn't hear that, did you?
What, Harold? I heard him.
What, Harold?
What?
What do you mean, Harold?
What did you say, Steve?
You lose.
You lose. So when you're like, well, I showed him. He took the chill out of the room, and I put some heat right back in it when he scared the living shit right out of me. I left the steam around the ground.
It's funny. No,
Stop watching the back, guys.
We're like this. We're like,
yeah, you're like, hey, if he'd move out of the way. So for $9.99 a night, I'm gonna leave the camera on. You guys can pay $1 a night. Watch
an hour, man. You could get.
Let me know
if
something moves
on this.
We'll have like live ghost cam.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you could do good.
No, but did you see that thing with the Teslas? And they have that thing for like in foggy nights, they have like a sonar or a radar that goes out in front of you. And if something's in the fog, it actually on the screen on the car, the monitor, the screen,
I did see that
person.
Yeah, they were going past the cemetery.
Did you just put the music on?
Yeah.
You just put the music on?
Yes.
You just scared the living shit out of me.
Yeah, what happened to the music?
Crackling in the background. I'm like, oh my God, it's all around me.
Yeah,
but Tesla has that thing where it's a monitor on the dashboard, and they were driving through a cemetery, and it was picking people up. And one of them
was seeing people left and right.
A woman, and one of them was a woman with a dress on, and the thing ran like out in front of the car, and they were like, "Oh my God!"
And they don't see nothing except for on the screen.
Yeah, you don't see it in front of you. You just see it what the car thinks it sees.
Yeah, and it's not
right. Exactly.
It's not a picture of somebody. It just looks like a fake, like
it's
an animated
rendering.
Yeah. It was cool though.
Crazy.
Yeah. That's neat.
It's like the original infrared sniper scopes. They saw things. The infrared sniper scopes picked up images that nobody else could see unless you were looking through the scope. That's why they stopped using the infrared and went to the green scopes.
Because they didn't like what they saw?
No shit.
They were seeing things on a different plane.
Oh, wow.
That nobody else could see. Yeah, yeah.
You gonna pull something in?
Check it out.
We just might. Let's see if he pulls it in. That's like a Philadelphia experiment type shit.
It was back in the Vietnam War.
Infrared ghost hunting. Sees ghosts. Armed red NVG. Starlight scope. Course soldiers. Let's see what it says. All right. So what it does say, it says for those of you who weren't around October 1964. Outer limits. Well, let me see if.
Yeah, I didn't think I could do that.
I don't know if you can or not, but I know he can.
Right. I don't think I can.
Starlight mounted M16 night vision goggles. The thermal imaging system on M1 tank. Last one was most amazing technology to me. And I could tell which pocket you carried your wallet. Wow. At 50 yards at dark night, I could tell which pocket you carried your wallet. But what it was is they thought that they saw demons. Is what it was. But it's not really showing anything about it. There's no video.
Right.
So I'm going to have to research that.
Huh. Oh, no, I saw.
Imagine that.
I saw some.
No.
Shoot it? Do I shoot it? I bet you they taste like chicken.
What what was it?
It would be dark meat. It was deep. Anybody?
Oh, I don't know. Hang on, I'm looking something. I'm gonna look up.
Viewer. See, how you have that reactor and then the researcher?
There is who?
Steve-O.
All right.
Researching.
Because
what happened?
Are you trying to research
it?
Oh,
I was. Yeah.
It's the Starlight Scope is what it's called.
Oh, Starlight Scope?
Yeah, Starlight Scope sees demons.
Oh, let's see. So
imagine that. You're out on a battlefield and you're going, what the hell is that thing? Boy, the enemy sure is looking stupid today. He's looking a lot more scary.
Oh, you know where we need to be looking for this? Not here. Hang on.
On YouTube?
Yeah. Starlight
Scope sees demons. Is that the one that you use, Steve? Did you have the infrared?
Yeah, we had originally, yeah.
See, I didn't have that. We had the green.
Now we have.
We had goggles.
Let's see.
What was that?
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know. It was all green.
Oh my God! No.
You're dying over there.
All right, let's see if we can. Let's see if we can see anything here.
What is this?
Yeah. Oh yeah, see.
You've seen the Vietnam through red night vision goggles.
around your father or something.
Correct.
Yeah.
So born into it. Yes.
Yeah. So you know that world is always decades ahead of the white world. Now, Reagan, I think, was the first started to agitate for a Star Wars
Looks like a big
program.
ball sack.
And that was when in the early 80s.
Yeah.
So you should assume that he wouldn't have clearing to do that if they weren't ready to launch some. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means that they've had about 30 years to tweak this stuff wherever.
And I know that this stuff
Isn't that Bumbles?
Because my father's role in the military brought him very close to it many times. So my father did 3 tours in the Vietnam War. And in his second tour, he was advanced enough in rank.
In the wrong video?
And he was there, I think, 11 or 12 months. And when he was in country at that point, he was he's always been a field officer.
I think this is the one.
And came up in the military through the Korean War and the Battlefield Commission. And so, the military likes guys like him, and they let him be in charge of a couple of different projects. One of the projects that he was in charge of at the time was these technology that they introduced into Vietnam that almost brought the war to a standstill. Wow. And this technology was a night vision goggle, but it's not night vision as we have it now, okay? Because the night vision goggle was done in the red spectrum. And so when my father came back from Vietnam...
You mean infrared or...
No, I'll explain.
Ordinary red.
Oh, ordinary red. Okay, so instead of seeing... When you look at a night vision goggles now, you see green. Everything is translated into green for you. And human eye sees green, more colors, shades of green than any other color. It's part of our evolution, our need to find food.
So that's clever then.
Correct. But see, here's the thing. It started off as red. And so the night vision goggles were introduced to helicopter pilots and gunnery people in Vietnam. And I won't hesitate as to I won't guess as to which year it was that they introduced them. But my father was part of this initial experiment with the troops that he commanded. And it was a disaster because the image was presented in red pixels, not green. And because of the technology being used at that time, it created very interesting effects that they could not deal with. So you had some officers that were part of this cadre or this cohort of other officers that were all testing these new technologies for the military that had their troops always use these goggles. And those units became self-destructive. They went down in a horrid situation. My father was extremely practical, didn't want to see himself get destroyed in any way, wanted to return and get out. So as soon as he saw what's going on with these goggles, he had his people take them off. And he actually got praise from the military for the way that he dealt with all of this. But the effect was this: a gunner in a helicopter would have no problem using these goggles. And only everything is showing up as a sort of a faint reddish image. And it was true night vision the way we have it now. And even a greater depth, because you could also flip it and get an extra layer that was sort of yellowish that would be heat signatures as well. And they don't have those combined anymore in these goggles. Anyway, the goggles that were presented to the gunners, and my father tells the story of the very first time they're out with them, and they're flying along and he's in the front of the helicopter with the pilot. And all of a sudden, in a very peaceful area, not anything going on at all, the gunner in his on the starboard side of his helicopter starts firing wildly at their height, not at anything on the ground, but at an area that he was shooting at, and basically causing other helicopters in their little flotilla to have to react. And my father goes on back to the gunner, basically demanding, "What the hell, dude? What are you shooting at?" And the kid is just sweating profusely, and his eyes are just dilated beyond belief. And my dad thought he was dealing with another heroin addict, but this was before it had gotten really bad in Vietnam, and the kid was not exhibiting those kind of symptoms. He was reacting to what he had seen. And he's describing to my father that he was shooting at these basically flying demons that were flying alongside the helicopter. And he knew they were coming to get him because they were gesturing at him and they could see him. And so he reacted, and he started shooting his Bren gun, big 50 caliber slugs at these things, right? And they
It
were
almost
flying around
sounds
right next
like
to
a
the
drug,
helicopter, so
like a
he's
euphoric
firing out directly from the helicopter, and there are other helicopters in the vicinity, so it caused all
experience,
kinds of problems. And this goes on repeatedly, week
Yeah, it
after
could
week
be.
after week. Every
or
time he
hallucinogenic, I
uses
should say.
these night vision goggles, at some point they encounter monsters, true monsters. Now, officers had been told not to wear these. Okay, the pilots were told not to wear them, but my dad put them on to see what the hell was going on, and to hear him describe it, it was like being in the worst kind of a demonic gothic hell.
Jeez.
That you'd look out at the tops of trees and you'd see these creatures with big wings and claws and everything come flying off of the tops of the trees. But you take the goggles off and there's not even a disturbance in the fog above the canopy of the trees, right?
They're perceiving into an aspect of consciousness.
Correct.
Another dimension.
And it was tied to
Another
the red
dimension,
image.
another dimension,
As soon
another
as-
dimension,
so as soon
another
as they went to
dimension.
green, all of this kind of stuff disappeared.
Of course.
See there? It's a little more proof.
And we don't have time.
Yeah, I know.
Me studying Pythagoreanism and vibrations, we could speak a lot about this, but let's not even go there. But
yeah.
one question.
Always
Are
more
we
convincing with the
connected
accent
to
guy,
the
too.
modern night vision goggles people used to see UFOs.
Correct.
Oh, yes,
Information,
this is
whatever they
very
call
good.
it.
So you
That's
put
the same
these
technology.
glasses, yeah, very
Technology
good.
is just that the translation is
Look at
done
that
through a
thing.
different
I see the wing. I see the
phase
triangle. You
alignment,
can't hide it
and
from
we're
me.
not seeing everything that the goggles could show you.
And
And
they don't connect it to heat signatures either,
Yep.
right? Organic.
they don't do that. And then they also don't do it with a red display. Now, the red aspect of it is interesting because the green display comes from electrons, not photons. Okay, and it comes from an electron transmission. Presumably, they were still doing electron transmission. They were just turning it into a red filter.
That keeps it more material.
That's really cool.
Exactly.
Make 'em more
And at this
material.
stage, though, in Vietnam, when they introduced them, it was brief.
You had
it
enough?
Lasted, the whole project
yeah.
lasted about 60 days.
Yeah.
And then it was all canceled.
Oh, yeah.
And they
All right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's pretty neat.
So they see demons. That's great. So we have demons
That's-
all around us.
With the red.
That's scary.
Well, then they can't touch you because if they're in another dimension, they can see you, but they can't do nothing.
Right.
Oh,
what's the
so
point?
you think they can see us as well?
Yeah. They probably see like that guy can see with the glasses, but they can't do nothing. Because if
Right.
they could, they'd be doing something.
Yeah.
Especially if they're sitting in the tops of trees and flying down at you. Why wouldn't they screw with you?
Now, see, watching that makes me feel like now when I go out and about, I'm going to be looking around.
You
know?
need those glasses. You need to go get those 3D glasses from
That's
the old
right.
3D movie.
Just do the
Filter out
red.
some different
Yeah. It just-
spectrums.
Huh.
Some,
Yeah, I'd
There you
be
go.
curious.
You far out, man.
Looking at the world through his
Everything's
rose-colored glasses.
creepy. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Oh, that'd be hilarious. Huh? Get a big old tub of Kool-Aid, start handing it out. Here, drink this before I feed it to an animal. Could you imagine that guy, crazy as that guy was, and he got like 300 people to kill themselves? Like, that means the world is like got rid of 300 dumb people. Because how the fuck do you follow somebody like that?
That's pretty much exactly what that means.
You know, and like those other people with Hail Bob, when that comic came around, and those people castrated themselves and then killed themselves.
That's so stupid.
It's like, are you kidding me?
That's
Somebody
dumb.
believes, well, we're gonna die. We're gonna end up in the tail of the comet. What? Oh yeah. This guy over here. You listen to him, and then you see the guy. And he's like, yeah, we're gonna go to the tail of the comet. We're all gonna die together. It's gonna be great. And you're gonna be like, yeah, I think I'm gonna believe that guy. He looks really convincing.
Yeah.
And he's not crazy. And, I mean, come on, no. What was that? The Heaven's Gate, I think is what it was called.
Yeah.
One of those people. Yeah.
That's
And
the
you
one where
see-
the ship was coming.
Yeah, the ship was gonna come from Hellbop. They killed themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And descend. And it's like,
Dumb.
and then you look at the guy that's telling him all about this, and he's like, "No, you're not gonna listen to that guy." It's just, I don't know. To me, it's just And then you listen to the people that were like, they were educated too. Some of them were lawyers, doctors. They were like, how do you just come listen to this guy? He's got a great message. No.
No, he doesn't.
You know, true story. I'm sitting in my basement one morning. Not one morning, one evening. And my buddy had just left the house. And he said that he'd be back in a few. So he left. And it's probably about 7 o'clock in the winter. So it's dark out. And I'm in my basement and I just spray painted an engine block. And I had the basement door open. And I was just putting the cans of spray paint away and letting it air out. And I hear something whistling or somebody whistling outside the door. And I thought it was my buddy coming back. So I'm like, come on in. I'm still in here. And the door, I hear something shuffle into the basement. I turn around, I look, and it's two dudes in suits. And they're like younger kids. And I'm like, what the? And they go, hi, sir. We'd like to give you an important message. And I'm like, excuse me. And I walk right past them and I shut the door and I locked it. And I turned around and I said, how important is this message? And the kid just looked at himself, looked at the other kid. He's like, not that important. I'm like, okay, don't come back. And I opened the door and I let them out and they just walked away. They must have shit their pants when I walked past them, shut the door and locked it. They were Jehovah's. They just wanted to give me an important message.
I hate.
Like,
I don't like that.
I think that's I
Bronx
invited
Tale.
him in, I guess, because I said, come on in, thinking it was somebody else. But it was like 7 o'clock at night, you know. And of course, when I see my buddies, like, oh yeah, I passed that.
The vampires can't come in unless you invite them in, Eric.
They were walking up the street when I was driving down it. I seen them go right by. I was like, oh, couldn't I ran them over or something? Then one day,
did you ever see a Bronx Tale?
Yes.
A what?
A Bronx Tale.
Okay.
Good movie.
No. Oh.
You ever see a Bronx? Yeah, when he in the bar when he walked by and closed the door.
That's why I did what I did. That's why I did that. From that movie, that's what gave me the idea.
Yeah, reminded me. Yeah. Yep. See. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, a guy walks into a bike. Oh no, these bikers walk into like an Italian mob run bar.
Yeah.
And they walked into the wrong bar. They walked in and they were having a good time, and they were told to act like gentlemen. And they're like, okay, no problem. And they turn around, they pretty much rip apart the place. They sprayed beer all over the bartender. So like two mobsters walk in the back room. They go out. There's like 5 of them with baseball bats. They lock the door and stop beating the shit out of these guys with baseball bats. They finally open the door. These guys are running out to their bikes. They beat the shit out of their bikes. I think they killed one of them right there on the sidewalk. He kept on bashing him in the head with a baseball bat. It was a pretty gruesome scene. I was like, oh my God. But those bikers never did anything like that in that street again.
What was the name of this movie?
A Bronx Tale.
A Bronx Tale.
It's got De Niro, I think, and De Niro's kid is hanging out with like a gangster. And the kid is looking up to the gangster and looks down at his father because his father's a bus driver and he makes bare minimum wage. And he's looking at this mobster who makes all kinds of money every day. And he starts running errands for the mobster. And his father is trying to plead with the mobster, look, just leave my son alone. And it's a good movie. It was when De Niro was a good actor.
It's a pretty good movie.
When De Niro was a good actor.
Yeah.
He is what he is right now.
He's a piece of trash.
He's done. He's woke.
Yeah.
Yep. He's woke.
That's the problem. These guys, he thinks that he's a tough guy because he played a mobster. He wasn't a mobster. He never was. He was never Billy Badass. He just pretended to be one. Along with all his pretend to be friends. You know, you look at some of them in real life and you're like, oh, how are you? You know, it's like they're not the big bad tough guys that they were. So, but he still thinks because he was those bad guys in those movies, it's gone to his head. And at least that's what I think. And he's just woke. And there'll be no woke with me.
Yeah.
I am still
That's right. Me either.
My eyes are closed, damn it. It's one way or no way.
Today we can't say snow.
So maybe you guys can educate me.
We can't say what?
Huh?
Oh no. Can't say
I think I heard you.
Snowman anymore.
What is it? A snow person? What is?
No, it's a snow folk. F-O-L-K.
Bridget
Snow folk.
Snow folk.
Are you serious?
Can't say.
You're kidding, right?
I'm
You
serious.
can't.
No, I'm dead serious. No,
So
I'm
now
I'm
you gotta
not
go
doing
home.
it.
they
You
took
gotta go out and make a snow
they
folk.
took that away.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing
Me
it either.
either.
It's
I'm
gotta
not
be
Yeah,
doing
I
part
don't
of
it
your
care.
either.
life.
Yeah.
So, but did you guys
Ridiculous.
hear me earlier?
What? No.
I said maybe you two can educate me because Steve said it once, and then you said it when you said somebody's woke. How do I phrase this?
Oh, but yeah,
You make it
that's the
sound
whole point.
bad, so I need to know what it means exactly to be woke.
To be woke,
Yeah,
to think that you
because
know that you need to have right pronouns for people, that um the certain policies are racist by design, i.e. the Constitution, the Bill of Rights.
that's what everybody means when they're saying woke.
Yeah, when they pretty much look at something and don't look at it in in a correct common sense way, and they look at it in a completely politically correct way, that's woke. When they can't look at something and just call it for what it is, they have to make a whole
Right.
deal
You pick it
of
apart.
something that it isn't. And then once it isn't, if I don't pretend along with them, then I'm wrong, and I can be treated unfairly for not wanting to pretend certain things.
Got it. I always thought that it just meant like you opened your eyes to things. You woke up and saw that things aren't
No,
exactly what they seem.
no, this woke culture thinks that they've woken up to that all the ideologies that we have lived by so far are all racist by design and wrong, and that we should be apologizing to the world and giving reparations to
Right.
people that were
You're
never
all wrong.
slaves. You know, you go 3 generations now back into these black families and they weren't slaves. So how many generations? You know, if that's the case, then we were. My parents were slaved. Well, my great grandparents were slaves back in England. You know, for religious purposes and stuff. So I should get reparations then from England. And then the Soviet Union had my great grandmother and grandfather enslaved. You know, by the czars and all that. So I should get money from the Soviet Union then. I mean,
there
it's
was
never going to
actually
stop.
a large amount of Irish people that were slaves.
Oh, more than the blacks. So if you're
I
going to
think it
start
was
going
more.
down
Yeah,
that route, you know, I
yeah,
think
it
that
was a
people
lot.
just need to just shut the hell up.
Yeah, just leave it, let
Understand
it
that there's
die.
no
This
race
world is not that
anymore.
world anymore. So
Well, there's no races anymore. You're not black, you're not white. It's do you stand for good or evil? I think that
Yeah.
should be the more definitive line.
It
If you
is,
think
yeah.
that everything in the world is bad and everything that we've grown up believing is good is bad now, you know, then you're on the wrong side of things. As far as you being black or white or yellow or orange, it's how you treat me, how you're going to treat my family, and what your ideology is. If your religion wants to kill me because I don't want to convert to your religion, then I don't want nothing to do with you either. You know, but if you just want to be whatever you want to be and leave me out of it, and I can be whatever I want to be, that's fine. That's what we need to be. We're Americans now. We're just you know, that's what we need to start calling all of ourselves. Not a black American, not an African American, not a white. You know, we're just Americans, and we need to start looking at ourselves that way. And until this group of people in this country does that, we're screwed, because there's always going to be those divisions. There's always going to be those definitive lines that they keep us behind.
Yep.
And so it gets to the point where
turn the TV on tonight.
Yeah, I think that we're well, if we have a war right now, if it was the Civil War, it was the gray coats versus the blue coats. When it was the Revolutionary War, it was the red versus the blue. You know, when it was North versus South at that Civil War point. Now, if we have a war, there is no definitive line. My neighbor is a 180 of my beliefs and hates me, and therefore would want me dead in a war like that because he's a Democrat, and and I'm a Republican, and that's the scary part. If there's a civil war now, it's not like the Civil War back then where we had a North and a South, and if you wanted to fight for the North, you moved up north. If you wanted to fight for the South, you moved down south, and there were families that were split up over that because it was a thought process or whatever. Well, now there's no line in the sand. There's no, you can either be on that side or this side, because your enemy is next door to you or across the street. There's no groups of people that are living in a certain neighborhood that are all exactly the same. There's no more of that. So this is a hard cultural war that we're gonna go into if we keep going down this road that we're on. And again, we just all, as citizens of this country, we need to stop looking at sides, and we need to say we're Americans. What do we want to do that betters America, not the rest of the world? We have way too many problems. Our plate is like this big. We have so much on our plate, but yet we keep scraping off and feeding other people, and we can't do that. We just have so many problems. And until the media says, hey, we need to smarten up and take care of this country a little better, and start preaching that we're Americans, and stop this whole red and blue bullshit with the Democrat and Republican and stuff, and just get back on track and say, hey, we need to get
remember
this one.
When that wasn't an issue?
A thing called One American Drive.
Remember when that was never an issue?
I do. I remember when I was not that long ago.
The red and the blue and the Republican and Democrat, like they were all.
You just voted, and that was it. And both sides, and Democrats were for the working people, and Republican were for the rich. That's just how I grew up, kind of learning. It was Democrats were for the blue collar. It was just for the people that had to go pull up their shirts every day and go to work. And somewhere that got lost. And it kind of switched, because it used to be the Republicans were that way back when. They're the ones who were trying to abolish slavery. They were the ones who were, trying to bring us back into being a republic. And the Democratic Party always was pushing for slavery. And then when that fell through, they needed their loopholes and their other shit. So what did they do? They start going after the next class of people, which is the working class. And they pretended to be for them all these years. I don't know. I'm not a very big political guy. I just know that the past couple of years have sucked.
Yeah.
And we really need a good change here. But everybody talks about a great reset. I'm kind of for it in a way. I think a reset politically, maybe not technology, or, I don't want to go into a dark ages where, all of a sudden people are dying because they got the common household.
We definitely need to stop for the teams and get to a unified.
We need to just a greater good, but we just need people to be Americans. We just need the people to get that love for their country again. I'm a white nationalist. I'm white and I love my country. It doesn't mean that I'm racist. It's just that I'm a white nationalist. I'm a Caucasian American who loves my country. But that's not a label I give myself. That's just a label that's been given because of what I am. But if we all were just nationalists, if everybody that lived here just loved their country and just wanted to do better for the country first, imagine what kind of a place this would be. Politics wouldn't even really matter at that point. We would have the control again. But you listen to these people that have never worked a hard day in their job. They're a politician. They work off of tax money. They've never, ever, ever had a boss where they had to go show up and, take an assignment on and stand there and file paperwork and go out in the field. They were lawyers that worked in the courtroom, and then they became politicians, and then they get 30, 40 years into politics. They don't work a job in their life, and they get paid off of us, but they get better health care. They get better everything, better housing, huge pay raises, huge money. I mean, when was the last time you could just go down to a dealership and just pick out a new car? When we were up at the Capitol on January 6th, we listened to some people speaking. Every 2 years, each person that's in their office or somebody who's new coming in. So let's say you just are newly elected. It's your first time. You just ran for your first election and you just got elected and you're a senator. You're allowed $40,000 to refurnish your office every 2 years. There's 300 senators and whatever they are, congressmen and women.
Each one of them gets $40,000 every 2 years.
$40,000 each every other year because their furniture's out of date. Like, how many people are in and out of those offices where they wear out the furniture in 2 years? It baffles me that they can take a person's pay for a whole year and just buy couches, and they don't just buy IKEA furniture. They're going to the best places in Washington, D.C. And why do you think those businesses are there when there's not so many people that live there, but yet there's these unbelievably beautiful furniture places that are inside D.C.? They're there for one reason. It's for those reasons.
It's for the Richmond.
Right.
The Richmond, north of Richmond.
Yeah.
And they're greedy, and they don't understand what it's like to live like us, but yet they're supposedly working for us. And then when they have all these laws going down and they don't vote, they're supposed to be representing us. But then they go, well, I stand morally this way. I don't give a fuck how you stand. You're not in that position because of what you stand. It's because you're there to represent what I stand for. And they lose that way when they get there. And they take a moral high ground and they think they're doing good for everybody, but just a bunch of pissants.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't like talking about this.
Yeah.
You get angry.
I get angry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
To get it out once in a while.
Yeah. Motherfucker, man.
You kept it in
I'm
check.
being repressed. Can you feel the repression of being repressed?
You kept it in check. You're gonna play this back and decide on this one for sure.
Yeah. I'll be like, no. This will be the edited one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll just stop at the scary sounds in the house.
Yeah. Well, there was one there a little while back. That was a good one too.
We know because every time you do it, you go,
oh my God, it just freaks me right the freak out, dude. You have no idea. To hear it firsthand when it's upstairs.
Well,
I know
being that you're in a house
in like 2 hours
by yourself, when you hear noises, it's gotta freak you out. Like, at least if I hear a noise, there's 3 other people in the house right now.
I put every fixture in this house. I put every plug outlet, every light switch, every piece of trim, every door. You name it, I put it in this house. So when I hear a noise, I kind of...
You almost know what the noise is.
I have no idea what it is because I built kind of the whole inside of this house. Like, literally. And the noise that I hear, like when somebody drags a chain on the ground, it's a chain being dragged on the ground. When somebody throws like a bottle and it smashes, it's a bottle smashing. The noise that I'm hearing upstairs, I know it's a cord hitting the floor. There's no cords upstairs. There's no TV. There's no cable. There's no extension cords run anywhere. There's no lamps. There's 2 lights, one on each side of the bed, and they're on rug. The cords go behind the headboard and plug in behind the headboard, and the one plug outlet that's in the middle of the bed. That could be the only 2 cords. I can't think of anything else. But it's happened like 3 times now, 4 times. Like, I can't even replicate it because I don't have a cord, but it's like an extension cord fucking hitting the fucking floor. And it did it like 3-4 times. That's why I keep thinking, is it windy? Is there a cord outside on the house that's... Come play with us, Danny.
Come to the light.
Those 2 little twins in The Shining. Standing in my hallway right now.
Red rum.
I'm on my big wheel. I'm out of here.
Too bad we can't stay.
Yeah, too bad we can't stay.
This was a long one, and it's getting late.
It is.
And he's like, I don't want you guys to go.
I don't want to take the headphones off because then I'm actually going to hear all the sounds in the house, which is kind of scary because this microphone, if I turn it all the way up, I can hear like really, really.
I know, dude. I know. Trust me. All these mics, these good, you can hear like cars at my intersection. I can hear better when I have this.
You want to freak yourself out? You go to Cabela's, $35, and you pick up the electric earmuffs for the shooting range.
Oh, and the sound
amplified, earmuffs. But then when you shoot a gun, it cancels that out. You can't hear the gun go off. It's like
they're noise canceling. Yeah,
that's all you hear. Well, when you turn those all the way up and you sit in the woods and you just listen, and the stuff you can hear is crazy, and it's directional. So left is left, right is right. So you can hear it, and you can, like when you're walking in the grass, you can hear the grass crunching under your feet that you would never hear before. So now you get out in the middle of the woods and you just turn these things on, and you just sit there against a tree, and you listen, and you can hear. And something's walking, and it sounds like it's right behind you, but it could be like a quarter of a mile away. But these things are so sensitive.
Crunching, yeah.
And I want to have those here one night. I just want to turn them on, close my eyes, lay back on my sofa or something, and just listen.
You don't really want those.
I was gonna say no.
I kind of why I do and I don't. I mean, because like I don't believe in that stuff. Like I don't think it can hurt me.
Yeah, but you go buy those things.
Me, whatever by now.
You're never gonna stay there by yourself again.
I don't know. I'll let you know.
I know.
What are you doing? I'm on my way home, man.
Dude,
it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I know I'm on my way home.
Yeah.
The motherfucker got real, man.
Got real.
What happened? He slapped me in the face and woke me up.
Go get you some red night vision goggles and those headphones.
I don't need to see demons. I already got inner demons. I don't need to see the outer ones.
Yeah. Holy shit.
All right. Well, what do you say, gentlemen?
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready to call it quits.
Sounds
well, Steve, thank you very much for joining us tonight. It was awesome having you.
Hey, thanks for having me here. Yeah, it was fun.
Awesome. And again, if this ends up becoming a show, and if you guys like what you guys saw here tonight, smash that like button and please subscribe.
And
it's the only way you're going to
don't forget to click the bell so that you're reminded every time we post a new episode.
Ah, there it is, the notification bell.
Yeah. So if you go on YouTube and you like it and you subscribed, you still have to turn on the bell so that you'll know whenever we post something.
Bell.
There it is. And that's what it is. And then notifications will be sent. We're going to be trying to put one of these out every Monday night at 7 o'clock, but you never know. There might be a bonus one sometimes in the middle of the week. And this was our first one when we had a guest, and we are hoping that Steve will come back again. And we're going to just, I think, wrap it up like that. So
it sounds good to me.
Have a good evening.
Sounds good.
Good night.